Hey guys, what's going on? This is Jared with Fighting Type-1. So there's something I wanted to talk about, and in psychology I believe it's called the bystander effect. And the bystander effect is a very interesting anomaly that occurs when there is a person, let's say, in distress, and there are a number of people. Let's say you're in New York City and someone falls down and they're obviously hurt and they're obviously unable to get up and they're in pain. Most people will continue to walk by them without giving them any assistance or any help whatsoever. It's not until someone else gets involved that other people start to put themselves into the equation and start helping. And this is something that I've experienced a couple of times with diabetes. And for those of you that know, sometimes things go from bad to worse really quickly. And typically you know your body. And I was at a large event for kids wrestling. It was the Tulsa Nationals, huge event. And my blood sugar was getting a little bit low, and I could feel that. And I've dealt with low blood sugar thousands of times, sometimes during training, sometimes, in the middle of the night, always different. But typically I feel where my body is, and I can tell how fast it's coming on. And there are different types of lows. There are food lows and there are insulin lows. There are, a number of different variables that are involved in this equation of diabetes. So back to the bystander effect. I was at this large kids tournament, and I could feel my blood sugar getting low, but I knew we only had a couple more bouts until we would be done. So I figured I would hold off, and then I would run to the concession stand, which was pretty far away, and that was why I didn't want to leave. If I had left, I was gone. I was missing my kids' matches. So I had to stay in, and I felt it hit me. It was like, boom, just rocked me, and I started getting the shakes, and my eyes started fluttering, and I could feel it. And this has happened to me before, and the result of this has been a seizure, and it's happened a couple of times. Gone down in public, and vomiting all over myself, and seizing and dying. And so I couldn't let this happen again. It would have been the second wrestling event that this has happened at, second national wrestling event that this would have happened at. So I couldn't let it happen. So I started running, looking, and I was confused. My blood sugar was low, so I didn't really know what was going on, but I knew I needed to find something with sugar in it. So I started running around looking for stairs. I couldn't find any. So I just started going to individual groups of wrestlers and parents and coaches, and knowing that they typically have Gatorade or candy on hand or anything to get my blood sugar up. And so after going to about 3 or 4 different groups and stopping them and saying, "Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I need sugar or I'm gonna pass out," most of them just looked at me and then laughed, and then cracked up and laughed, and just went on talking to whoever they were talking to or carrying on, which I understand. I hate bringing other people into my problems, but this was one of those things. It was going to be a big problem because the tournament might get halted up because I'd be dying on the mat right there. So after 3 or 4 groups, I finally, God blessed me with this, and so many times I feel like God saved me from dying of low blood sugar. It's pretty incredible. But I went to the 4th group, I would say, and there was a kid, and he had a Pepsi cup. And so I asked him, I said, "Can I drink your drink? I need it or I'm going to pass out. I have diabetes." And he looked at me with a crazy look, and he offered it up. And it was great. I'm like, Pepsi, awesome sugar, boom, busted open, and it's an empty cup with like dribbles in the bottom from melted ice. Drank it anyway, anything. So, but as this is going on, right next to me, I feel a man grab my arm in a familiar elbow tie. And he grabs me, and he says, "I got what you need." He pulls his bag off his back, and he starts rummaging through it, and he pulls out a bottle of Tropicana orange juice. He gives it to me. As I start pounding it, he says, "I'm a type 1, buddy." And I was just blown away. Blown away by a couple of things. Blown away by the fact that there were people that couldn't help me and that refused to help me, that thought it was a joke. That's how little they know about this. I was about to die in front of them. It's happened before. They couldn't do anything. They didn't even understand. And I was also amazed that there was somebody in close enough of locale that they could give me some orange juice, literally what they tell you to take in the hospital when your blood sugar is low. You know, it's just amazing, and you know, it's really led me to you know, keeping things on me. You know, keeping glucose tabs in my bag. My wife is always on me for that. You know, making sure I have what I'll need by me, and making sure other people know about my disease, my condition, my whatever. You know, I'm not embarrassed to tell anybody anymore, and that's something that's really important, is awareness and awareing people that are around you. You know, I have so many stories like this, and I'm sure you guys do too, and I'd love to hear them. But, you know, that's just an example of that bystander effect. So don't get caught up in it. Try to be self-sufficient. Try to be self-reliant. Have what you need with you when you're going somewhere unfamiliar. You know, and I know that's difficult sometimes, but you can't rely on other people because there's so much to know here. So much to know. All right, well, stay safe and keep those glucose tabs on you. All right, peace.